Hello friends, welcome to Tips and Tricks in Mathematics. This is for class 10 students and the topic of discussion is statistics. So what is statistics? It is collecting data and analyzing the data. But often this collected data size can be very large. For example, if you are doing a census work, then the data collection from the population is huge, and this data has to be classified into different groups. For example, data may be classified into genders, age, or even maybe different salaries, like how many people are there in this particular salary bracket. Then how do we represent data? Data can be represented by pictorial representation, like we can draw a bar graph. Then we can also give quantitative representation or with some numerical values. The central tendency, mean, mode, median correspond to this quantitative representation. Now let us define mean. Mean is nothing but sum of all the variables by total number of variables. So if we have variables like x1, x2, x3, we add them up and divide by the number of observations. This can be mathematically written as sigma xi. This capital E, this particular symbol, Greek symbol, is called sigma. So sigma xi means summation. Sigma means summation. So sigma xi means I can take value from 1 to n. So this will mean x1 plus x2 plus x3. So when a number of terms with summation term is there, it can be written with this particular symbol, is the mean. And if data is given with respect to frequency, then we can write this formula, sigma xi fi by sigma fi. Is the fi is the frequency corresponding to this particular data xi. Let us take one example, friends. Like we have, like, these are the test marks in English subject for different students here. These are the frequency. So these are the marks obtained out of 15 marks. Now we want to find the mean marks. How much on an average student scored in the test English. So let us see. First we write the table like this x. Then we repeat the frequency values. Then we write f into x. We have told previously we have to compute sigma fx by sigma f. So sigma f is calculated by totaling this column as 48. Now when we multiply these two, for example 10 into 3 30, 11 into 12 132, and so on, we multiply all the corresponding columns and get these values. Now we do sigma fx, we add all those and get total as 576. So mean will be sigma fx by n. So mean is 12. It means on an average students got 12 marks in English test. So mean will always be from this column, friends. Please note that. It will not be this column. This column corresponds to frequency. Frequency means how many students. Like how many students got 12 marks? How many students got 13 marks? Only 3 students got 14 marks. So mean will come out from here. For example, to give a check whether this mean looks okay, we should check the frequency with the largest value. For example, the largest frequency is 18. So mean should be around that value. So mean should be around 12. It need not be 12. Even it can vary between 10 and 14. But suppose you get through these calculations, you may get wrong in calculation and get mean as 20. Then it should immediately raise an alarm bell, because your mean is outside this data 10 to 14. It means there is something wrong in the calculation. So you must check. So mean should be between these x values and it will be around the most frequent value. So it should be around, if the frequency is high here, then the mean will be around that value. So this is an important cross check you must do, students. Now coming to the direct method. Now we are coming to group data now. Group data means we are the marks are put like 10 to 20. In this particular case, we are not taking marks, but let us put like rainfall, amount of rainfall in millimeter, this particular column, and this number of days in a month. So 10 to 20 mm rainfall occurring 3 times in a month, 20 to 30 mm rainfall occurring 4 times in a month, and so on. Now we want to find the average rainfall. So as told friends, initially our mean should be between 10 to 50. It will not go out from that, and it should be, since frequency is high here, we should get somewhere between 20 and 30. Mean should come somewhere here. So let us try that, friends. We'll put the class here. This is called the class interval 10 to 20. Frequency is put. Then we put the mid value of the class. So they become the xi. Earlier the xi itself was given. Since the data is grouped now, we have to compute xi as the mid value. So 20 plus 30 by 2 gives 15. Similarly, we compute other values. Now we do the same computation, fx. So fi xi 3 into 1545, 4 into 2500, and so on. So we get fi xi. Now we sum up the fi xi. Divide by n, we get the mean. So we see that the mean is 26, around the most frequent value. So this is a cross check we are doing. Now we come to another simpler method called a step deviation method. In the previous method, we were multiplying xi, fi, but suppose fi values are large or the multiplication becomes little tedious, then we use the step deviation method. Friends, this is put like this, same problem I have taken there. Now putting here, we take the class and put the frequency, take the mid value. Now I calculate another intermediate variable d. D is calculated as x minus a by h, where a is the assumed mean. Assumed means what? Out of the, I told you, the mean will be somewhere in this value. So the midpoint values, I have to take some assumed mean. I have taken assumed mean as 35. We could have taken 25 also, but just to start with, we have taken a equal to 35. We call it as assumed mean. We are assuming that mean is 35. Then we will make some correction on that. So now we compute the d value. So x is 15 minus 35 is minus 20 by 10. 10 is the class interval denoted by h. So it is minus 2. Let us take another value. 25 minus 35 is minus 10. Minus 10 by 10 is minus 1, and so on. Now we multiply f and d. Instead of multiplying f and x, these numbers are much smaller and easier to multiply with the frequency. That is the difference. So without even using calculator, we can do it. So once you multiply f and d, we get this. So sigma fd again we compute and divide by n. Since we have divided all observations by h, we multiply here by h. So formula is assumed mean a plus sigma fd by n into h. H is the class size, 20 minus 10, 10. So we will get 35 as the assumed mean plus sigma fd is minus 9 by 10, n is 10 here, into h. That is class size is 20 minus 10 into 10. So it will be 26. The same thing we got previously also, the same value. Now let us come to mode. Mode is the most frequently occurring data. So in this particular frequency table, again the English test marks are given and the frequency is given. We see that the most frequent value or the highest frequency is 18. So mode will be this x value, 12. Please note that mode will not be 18. 18 is the frequency value. It's the number of times a particular observation is coming. Mode has to be from this column. So mode will be 12, corresponding to the highest frequency value. Now let us see that if the data is grouped and we have to compute mode, then how to proceed. We have taken the data here. A different class size is there, 5 to 10, 10 to 15. This is a group data and the frequency is given here. Now we want to compute mode. So how do we do it? First we have to find the maximum frequency. Again the most frequent is 8. But we don't have corresponding XA. We have a class there. So this we call it as modal class 10 to 15. The modal class is 10 to 15. Now we use this formula to calculate mode. So what is that, friends? F1. F1 is the frequency of the mode class. So frequency of the mode class is 8. F1 is 8. Then L is the lower boundary point of the modal class, so which is 10. So L is 10. F0 is frequency of the preceding class. Preceding class frequency is 5. The frequency of the succeeding class is F2. So succeeding class F2 is 4. Class length, difference between these two is 5. Now we got all the values which we can plug in. From the modal class we can get all the values. So once you plug in, we get the mode as 12.1. So it lies somewhere here between 10 and 15. This is again a cross check. Now let us similarly find the median of a group data. So median for a group data this is the data we have considered. The class is given and the frequency is given. An important step in median is that first we need to calculate cumulative frequency. We call it as CF. You can observe here CF is given. So how do we calculate CF? First we write the class, then we write the frequency. Then CF is calculated by starting with the first value, like 5 is 5. Then we add subsequently the frequency value. So 5 plus 7 will be 12. 12 plus 8 will be 20, 20 plus 10 will be 30, 30 plus 6 will be 36, 36 plus 4 will be 40. So the end value of CF will match with the n. So we got CF last value as 40. Now we want to find the median class, we want to find n by 2th observation. So 40 by 2 will be 20. So 20 is given here. It is really surprising. It is very rare that whatever observation we get, it should come here. Then it is a luck for us, because at 20th observation we get the median class as 1520 directly. But for example, suppose after calculation we get 22nd observation. So what shall we do? Because 22nd number is not there in this particular column. So 22nd is in between 20 and 30. So we will take the higher one. So we will take 2025 as the modal class if n by 2th observation was say 22 or 23. This is very important. This particular case we got exact value, but in your exam this may not be the case. So please remember, if the value is in between two values, then the higher one will correspond to the median class. So the median class in the present case is 1520. Now we simply plug the values of different like L, N, CF, F and C in this particular equation. M equal to L plus N by 2 minus CF by C into C, where L is the lower boundary of the median class. So we told median class is 1520. So this will be 15. Total frequency is 40. Cumulative frequency of the class preceding the median class is CF. So preceding the median class is 10 to 15 and corresponding CF is 12. This is what the frequency of the median class is 8, that is F. Then C is the class length. So 10 minus 5 is 5. Now we plug in all these values into this equation and get median as 20. Now there is an empirical relationship between mode, median and mean. What do you mean by empirical relationship? It is like in chemistry you would have studied, like when different elements you combine in some proportion, you get a compound. So we call it as an empirical relation. Empirical relation means you cannot prove mathematically that this relation is correct. Through observations or through data analysis, we have observed that this relation holds. So you can remember this, that mode is equal to 3 times median minus 2 mean. With this, friends, we conclude this chapter. I request you to please subscribe my channel and give a thumbs up to my videos. This will motivate me to make more such videos for you. Thank you very much, friends.